So, good morning, everyone. My name is Vladimír Zeman, and I'm the president of the Trampoline TC of European Gymnastics. At that moment, I would like to welcome you all for the third European Gymnastics webinar organized by the Trampoline TC. I'm very pleased to introduce you to expert who is known as a top gymnast in the past and one of the top level coaches and coaching experts today. Our expert is Michael KUHN from Germany.
Good morning, everybody.
You can see some short curriculum vitae, but basically what I like to highlight is really a top expert in FIG academies and age group program organized by FIG, and he served also as a coaching expert in international training clinics overseas. Okay. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Vladimir, and everybody around Europe and the world. Good to see you, and I'm very pleased and honored to do this education this morning.
Mitch, do you want to say some words before you start the presentation?
Yes, again, thank you very much, European Gymnastics and the TC with you, Vladimir. We live in crazy times at the moment. We face another lockdown here in Germany from tomorrow, probably. I'm very happy to stay in training with my athletes the past weeks. I don't know about the next weeks, but yes, I rather prefer to do the education together with you in a real situation in a gym. But this is maybe a good alternative for the future as well. And very welcome all the people, the coaches, the judges and athletes who will join us this morning. Good morning, everybody. So, Vladimir, do you think I should start right now?
The floor is yours.
Okay.
Good luck and enjoy. And yes, for the participants, enjoy the high quality information provided to you by Mitch.
Okay. So I start sharing my screen with you and start my presentation. I must admit, I'm a little bit more nervous than I was as an athlete because the only concern I have is having a stable internet connection. So I hope everything will run well. Our subject for this morning is the full in half out pike and Rudy in half out pike on the trampoline. And in the past weeks, I took a lot of video sequences in my gym with my training group and some others of our center. So all the video clips, most of the video clips were done the last weeks. And the skill acquisition means how we can approach these skills, how can we do the methodology step by step. And so we start looking about some technical aspects about these skills, the requirements, so which skills should be mastered before I do a full in half out or a Rudy in half out pike. And then we step into the methodology step by step. We talk maybe a little bit about playing with twists and quarter and half saltos in early years of training to prepare these skills, because you can, long years before you complete these skills, you can start preparing everything with the right timing of twisting and eye contact to the bed and everything. Then I show up some related skills and continuation, so doing some harder skills which are related, and show some skill combinations and routines which includes these skills. And maybe we'll talk about differences in male and female trampolining as well, if there are some. We will see, because as I told you, I took all the video sequences from my training group, but I have one special guest from the other side of the planet, but I talk about this later for the perfect skills. So you are very welcome to use the chat room for all your questions and comments. And you know, we're a big trampoline family, so all your experience is very welcome. Share your advices, tips and tricks and necks, and interact with us. If you want to send a mail, you can use this email address down below here on this slide. So if you have some comments afterwards, you're very welcome. Okay, let's jump into the subject. We start with the full in half out pike. Okay, you see, this is the international shorthand notation. The 8 means, let me try if I can use some special things here. Okay. The number 8 means this is 8 quarter saltos, so this is a double salto. The 2 means this is 2 half twists in the first somersault, and the 1 is another half twist in the second somersault. And this thing here is the description for the pike body position. Okay, and the degree of difficulty is 1.5 with this skill. Okay. So let's start with some technical aspects of this skill. The full in half out pike is in the sum is a double salto forward with 1.5 twists in pike body position. This is the same amount as a Rudy out pike, but the twists are divided differently. So the full twist should be finished before the first somersault rotation, followed by a Barani out pike in the second salto. So the third half twist is happening with during the kick out opening of the skill, and following the rules of the judging, this third half twist should be finished a quarter salto before entering the bed again. So very important for all our learning steps, which I show up later. There should be a clear view toward the bed, a clear eye contact during the takeoff phase. It's quite similar as a Barani straight, but not quite. We see that later. And as well with the kick out phase, the last phase of the skill, there should be a clear eye contact to the bed in this Barani out phase. And the arms are leading asymmetrically into the full twist at the start of the skill. And during the pike body position and the kick out, the arms should remain straight along the body side. Most of the athletes, they cross the arms a little bit in front of their body in the full twist. This is a little bit different. Okay, this is about the technical side. Now we see from Eileen the whole skill. So you have an impression how the skill looks like. So this is the full in half out pike. And in the next slide, we see this in slow motion. So it's a little bit, no, that this was not in slow motion, sorry. I hope now. No, I have to go to the next slide. Maybe now it will work. Yes, this is in slow motion. So you get an impression of this completed skill from Eileen. Okay. On the Zoom platform, always the videos are a little bit jerky and not very fluid, but I hope you can see the most important things in these sequences. So once again, full in, half out, pike. Okay, so what are the requirements before I can complete this skill? Here I wrote down, you need a half out pike and a Rudy out pike, but it's not absolutely related to the full in half out pike. You only need to know, is the athlete able to have enough energy, enough tempo of the salto, enough height to complete the skill. And in the normal training process through the years, you normally do a half out or maybe a Rudy out pike before you step into a full in half out pike. But it's not absolutely necessary. For the beginning of the skill, I already told you it's like a Bharani straight. And for the finish of the skill, it's like a Bharani pike, or something in between the Bharani pike and the ball out pike from the back. What you should know or able to do is a 1 3/4 pike to the flat back landing, because we need this for some progression steps. And the Rudolph is very useful, and in a normal training process, people are able to do a Rudolph before they step into a full in half-out pike, because of the initiating of the twisting in the first salto. So we have some related skills. The Bharani in back out pike, it's not very common anymore. In former times, it was, especially in female trampolining, a common skill. We have the full in Rudy out pike as the continuation of the full in half out. Then we have the triple salto with triffis, full twist in the first salto, half twist in the third salto. And for sure, full in half out tuck and straight are related to the pike one, but the twists are not divided in the same way. It's not the same. I show that later. And the two skills which I'm talking about today, they are related, especially in the middle part of the skill and the last part of the skill. The one is forward, the other one is backward, but in the middle part and the finish of the skill, it's about the same. So, okay, we quickly go through some requirements. This is a Bharani straight from Eileen. It's an absolute one of the most common and most important skills for all the forward takeoff. Okay, and as well, we need the pike Bharani for the kick out and opening of our skill. So this is the Bharani pike. If you want, I show that again. Bharani pike for the kick out with a very clear view towards the bed during the kick out and the entering of the bed, because you want to prepare a skill after this one. Okay. So Tim is showing us the Bharani ball out from the back in the pike position, because in the complete full in half out pike, the body position of the piking and the opening is something in between a Bharani pike and the ball out pike. Okay. Okay. Show that again. 3/4 front, Bharani ball out pike. So I was talking about speed and height and energy. We see from Leonie here a half out pike in a good height, in a good good energy, a little bit pulled back with the hips. And then we see the Rudy out pike as well, which is the same amount of salto and twisting. I show this again. The same amount of saltos and twisting like the full in half out pike. A lot of energy here, nice kick out, and 1.5 twists in the second salto, second somersault. Okay, now we step into the progressions and the methodology. As I told you, we need a flat back landing for some progressions, and that's why Eileen starts here with a 3/4 front to the flat back landing, because this, for the takeoff, you need a almost straight body, and a very good eye contact to the bed. So we see that in the takeoff. Yes, very long view to the bed from Eileen here. Okay. So, and she's already able to do a Bharani straight onto the feet and she's able to do the 3/4 front to the flat back landing. And now she's adding the first half twist, landing on her stomach. Show this again. With a very long eye contact to the bed, half twist to the front landing. Okay. And as soon as she is mastering this thing, we add another half twist to the flat back landing. So she's thinking about doing Bharani straight on her stomach, and now she's adding the second half twist to the flat back landing. She was a little bit over rotated here, but show this again. The takeoff is almost the same as Bharani straight to the stomach, and plus another half twist to flat back landing. Okay, so continue. Maybe this is the same again. You know, yeah, it's the same again. You know, people, I'm almost a little bit more nervous than I was as an athlete, because the technique is not, if it not runs like I want, can be a little bit difficult. So we see this in slow motion, and we see the asymmetrical dropping of the arms here. He's a left twister. Body in straight position. The full twist to the flat back landing, as well a little bit over rotated, but it's not a problem, because what we want to achieve here in this attempt is to have an acceleration, a fluid first twist. Okay. Again, dropping of the arms, good view to the bed. Arms now along the body side, and he spreads his arms now for the landing, to slow down a little bit the landing. Okay, now we see here another example from another guy, from Rick. He is dropping the arms almost symmetrically, but if you follow his move, okay, you will see that he is arching his hips and as well as the head a little bit sideways. The arms almost symmetrically, but now he's arching his head. You can see that, and he's arching the hips as well a little bit to initiate the twist. See that again, this example. Once more. You see his arms almost symmetrically drop down to the body side. Yes, but now he's arching his head here, and you see here a little bit arching sideways in the hips. So you do that. You see in the Rudolphs, if you look from the front view, you see this arching in all the twists in the first salto. So we go on with Eileen. As soon as you can manage this full twist in the 3/4, you try to upright your upper body before you land on the flat back. You upright your upper body and you land in the seat drop, because this is the middle part of the full in half out pike. So full twist and upright to the seat landing. We see that later in the complete skill, that this 360 between 3/4 and the full salto, the full twist should be finished and the piking should start before the kick out. Okay, have this again. Full twist, seat drop. Okay, you see this in slow-mo as well. So the full twist is finished now, and he starts to flex his hips to indicate the piking. Once more. We see the asymmetrical arm movement. We see the arching sideways a little bit in the body and the head, and we start to pike. He starts to pike shortly before landing. Okay, now we go to a younger lady from our center. She is 15 years old, Luisa, at this time. And now we have a little bit a break in the methodology, because from the seat drop, we have the problem now to get more salto rotation, to go further into maybe a 1 3/4 with or to duck under later a little bit. And that's why we go now a parallel way. We go back to the Barani straight and add another half twist before landing. So we have a straight salto forward with a full twist, a little bit over rotated here with Luisa, but we need this progression to do the next step. Once more, a full twist. Okay, because now there are many different possibilities to do the next progressions. The next progression would be 5/4 saltos with a full twist to land on the stomach. But this landing on stomach is not everyone's favorite thing, because it could be dangerous for your spine with unleveled landings. So now we see here Emmanuel again. He's trying to do this next progression, 5/4 saltos with a full twist. And he tries to get to arrive in the front landing, but he's, as you can see, he's straddling his legs, because he definitely was afraid of this skill, and he definitely wanted to gain eye contact to the bait very early. So I show this again. So the same thing as before. We have the full twist with a little bit more salto rotation, the piking starts, and the straddling. So, okay, if you have some more of these repetitions, I'm sure that he would be able to do it better. Okay, we can go on to the next slide, because now we have the problem to duck under. But as I told you earlier, the athletes who arrive with this progression here, so this is a 1 3/4 salto forward with a full twist in the beginning. The athletes must have the experience already with the 1 3/4 to the flat back landing. Yeah, otherwise it might be not so easy to get to this progression. Especially Luisa, she hasn't got the overview after the full twist. She's pulling the head a little bit too much inward on her chest, as you see that. And there is not a good eye contact to the bed, but she knows exactly what she's doing. She knows exactly when she has to accelerate the salto rotation to duck under. Okay, once more. So full twist, piking, and 1 3/4 saltos. Okay, we are lucky to have a pit in our gym. So the next step is to finish the skill in a very safe learning situation. So Selina, she's doing the full in half-out pike. There's not enough salto rotation, not enough energy, but she's able, with a good view to the bed, to finish the skill into the foam. So this was the completed skill, maybe for the first time, but it's already a full in half-out pike into a safe landing situation. Show this again. Full in half-out pike. And last time. Okay, good. So now we go to the next step. We see the complete skill now on the trampoline from Luisa. She's still in the learning process with this skill, so she's not completely ready. There is still a lack of salto rotation, but The structure of the skill is very well, is obvious. Very nice full in half out, but in the kick out position at the end, you see that there is a little bit more height and energy needed to have a better kick out, an earlier kick out, and to maintain the straight body position at the end of the skill. A little bit pulled back the hips. So once more. And then we proceed to some advanced examples. So she bringing the heels, full twist, half twist. Okay, now we see another example. Just wait a second. Okay. We see this now from the front view. And we use this view very often in the learning process, because if you need to do some corrections with a good axis, then you have to look from the front view to see if here in this example, Luisa is initiating her twist maybe too early, maybe too much bending her head and her hips too early. And we see this indeed. A little bit too early, she's bringing shoulder and head down into the move. But the whole skill, all in all, is in a good axis. She's staying in the middle line of the trampoline. So this is not a this is quite a good axis. Now we see again the full skill by Eileen, with more energy, more height, more speed, and she get a nice kick out here in this example. And yeah, better kick out, a little bit traveling forward, but nice try. Once more. Okay. She's gaining some height, bringing the legs full in half out pike with a good kick out in the finish. Okay. So if we see now the skill a little bit in different pictures, we can watch Leonie here from number 1 to 2. This is the last straight bounce before the takeoff. In the picture number 3, you see a little bit the arms behind the body. This is her style because she's a little bit too flexible here in the shoulder. Now here in number 4, this is the deepest point of the depression of the bed. She's almost vertical here, almost. The head is in a good position, so she can have a good eye contact. She's keeping the eye contact here, but now we see a little bit of difference. Maybe I highlight this again. Now you see a little bit the piking, a little bit of bending and flexing the hips in the takeoff. So this is not quite similar as in our progressions. In the progressions, we used the Bharani straight with a fully extended hip position. And now we see a little bit of bending here, a little bit more. The asymmetrical arms, but still she got a very good view to the bed before she's entering into the twisting. So this is the takeoff phase, and I can compare now with another example from a male trampolinist, and we see exactly the same. So this is not a difference because maybe she's got not enough power or height or energy. So this is the technique if you complete the skill. So we go to the next one. Maybe you already know now who is my special guest in this Saturday morning. So this is the last straight bounce here, deepest point of depression, already a little bit leaning forward with the upper body, the arms along the same angle as the upper body, little bit flexed hips, the asymmetrical arms, still a very good view to the bed. And now the initiating of the twist starts here, here, and already in this position, the full twist is almost completed in the first salto before he's finished the first salto rotation. Moment, just a second. So if you remember, Tim was doing the Barani ball out pike from the back landing. This is about the same takeoff, the same position after you come from the back landing, and he arrives in the seat position here. You see his arms are along the body side, direction to his knees. Some people, they grab at their legs somewhere to get a little bit a closer position, but this is very nice position. And here he is already finished with the first salto, finished with the twist, and he's ready for the last phase of the skill, for the kick out. And the most impressive thing here is, if you watch his upper body, the upper body of him is almost remaining in the same position while he is extending explosively his hips in a fully extended body position, and he's fully extended already here. And we go to the next slide. Okay, now we are in the way a little bit. Okay. And he already has the complete view to the bed, the eye contact to the bed, keeping the eye contact, keeping, and this is very impressive, this straight body position almost until landing. And this is the entrance into the bed. And here is at the deepest point of the bed depression, ready for the next takeoff. Whatever he wants to do after the full in half out pike, he can do it. So, and now we give this guy the chance to show us the skill in the normal speed. And you see the dynamic. You see the dynamic of his skill, and that's the point when I have to say thank you very much, Dylan and Jared, down to New Zealand, for this very nice example of a full in half out pike. And yes, you look into the camera, it was a nice example. Thank you, Dylan. I show this again. Tuck back, full in half out pike in a very dynamic way. And I have another example with the slow motion, so you can enjoy this skill from Dylan again. Back tuck, and now full in half out pike, same height as the skill before, super entering into the bed. So this is a very nice example. Once more, and then we proceed to the next skill. Tuck back, full in half out pike. So we see this special guest later in the presentation again. Okay, I was talking about continuation and skill combination. Leonie is showing us combination of 4 skills, where the full in half out pike is the 3rd skill, with a good linking of the elements. She's starting with the Rudy out pike, half in half out tuck, and now strong takeoff for the full in half out pike, little bit traveling backward in the double back pike, but this was a very nice example of linking. And if you talk about the continuation of the skill from the full in half out pike, you can go further on the full in Rudy out pike, which is a very nice skill as well, showed by Tim here. Okay, and the last thing I was talking about related skills, and full and Triffis pike is also related directly. We show one example from Matthias, This is from the one touch before the semifinals in the last World Championships in Tokyo about 1 year ago. He's starting with the full in Triffis pike, followed by half in, half out Triff pike and Triff pike. This was the one touch from Matthias. Unfortunately, a few minutes later in competition, it didn't went that well. He crashed in the second skill, so this was very unlucky, but I think he showed that he's able to do these hard skills. Okay, so now we directly proceed to the Rudy in half out pike backward skill. Again, it's a double salto backward, 3 half twists in the first salto, 1 half twist in the second salto in the pike position. The degree of difficulty is 1.6. This is a double salto backward with the 2 twists in pike body position. That's the sum, the amount of saltos and twists. And the twists are divided like this. The first 1.5 twist should be finished before 360 degrees of salto rotation, followed, as we had before, by a Barani out pike with a half twist during the kick out. And the same following the rules of the judging. The fourth and the last half twist should be finished a quarter salto before entering the bed. There should be a clear view towards the end of the bed during the last bounce before the takeoff. And in the last phase of the skill, beginning through the kick out as a Barani pike, there must be a clear eye contact to the bed until landing. The arms are leading into the 1.5 twist, and during the pike body position, the arms should remain straight along the body side, or in some cases they are a little bit across the upper body, and during the kick out you have the straight arms along your body side. So we see the first example here from Tim. Rudy in half out pike, and we show this in slow motion, 1.5 twist and half twist in the end. I think I show the slow motion again. 1.5 twist, half twist at the end. So what are the requirements for this skill? I go the same structure as I did in a full in half out pike. If you want to complete this skill, you should be able to do a half in half out pike at least, or better, half in Rudy out pike. Sorry, half in Rudy out pike, to know if you have the enough energy, enough height and tempo in the rotation to complete the skill. The same as before, we need the Barani pike or the Barani ball out pike for the last phase of the skill, the middle and the last phase of the skill. We need a back full, definitely. This is one requirement. And a double full is very useful as well. Why? Because we need to accelerate the twist, the 1.5 twist in the first salto rotation. And if you're able to do a double full, you can be sure that you can accelerate your twisting fast enough to get into the move. As well, you need for the flat back landing the 1 3/4 pike or the half in 1 3/4 pike to the flat back landing. For the progression step, duck under a little bit later. So related skills, a little bit skills from longer time, from earlier times, full in back out or back in full out are related to the skill. We have the Rudy in, Rudy out pike as a related skill. And for sure, full in, full out tuck and full in, full out straight are related. But as we see later, the twists are not exactly divided in the same way. With the full in, full out tuck and the full in, full out straight, more or less, we have in the first salto 3/4 of twists and 3/4 of twists in the second salto. And definitely it's the Rudy in half-out pike is related to the full in half-out pike in the middle part and the last part of the skill. It's exactly the same. One word before we go to the next video clips. What makes these skills, which we're talking about this morning, so difficult? The difficult thing is the twisting in the first salto. Because if you initiate your twist too early or too fast, or you lean forward or backward into the skill and maybe a little bit sideways or arching too much, there are two things. You can cut the height of the skill, which is not very good, because we all know that time of flight is got a very big influence on our marks, and it can drive you out of the axis of the skill, and the athlete travels sideways, which can be dangerous. If you're not completing your skill in the middle and you travel sideways, maybe with a little bit twisting in the end, maybe the next takeoff takes you more to the side. That's why it's very, very important that you have a proper start of the first progressions, and do this in a good manner, in a good technical way before you complete the skill. What we use very often is kind of a drill. Eileen shows us back full, back straight, followed by back full, followed by another back full. You coaches around the world, you all know that there are millions of drills, but before we do full in, full out, or maybe the Rudy in, half out, we use kind of these drills to get a feeling for the twisting and improve the takeoff. Because I use the drills very often, because if the coach is near the trampoline, from the first attempt of the back full to the second attempt of the back full, you can do some verbal corrections. You can give some input, so the athlete knows what she's got to think about. Again, back straight, back full, back full. Okay, that was the first thing. So this is Luisa again. She is absolutely in the learning process of the Rudy in, half out. And we started to record these sequences maybe in September, late September. So she's definitely able to do back full, and now we try to do the back full to the front landing, to the stomach landing. Why we do this? Because it's the initiating of the twist in the first salto and accelerate the twist a little bit later. We see this now from the front view, and here we need to correct maybe the head position, the arm position, and look if she can stay in the middle axis. So and this looks quite good from the takeoff. Good takeoff, good arm position, good head position. So we can proceed. Now this was the really first attempt that we add the third half twist. And you see she's thinking about what she's got to do. And she's concentrating on the back full to the front landing and waiting for my signal. With my verbal signal for the third half twist, she tries to add this third half twist, and it was not very clean. This is already the second attempt, and it was a little bit more fluid already. As you hear, maybe I gave her again the signal to accelerate the twist for the back landing. So this is already the start, the entrance of the the Rudy in, half out pike. 1.5 twists are completed. We see this from the front angle as well. 1.5 twist. This was maybe 2 weeks later. And you see it already was very fluid, very nice twisting without interruption. So that's, and that gave me the idea to proceed with the skill. Now we're in the same thing as we were in the full in half out pike. If the twist is finished, we upright our body shortly before we land into the safety mat, and we indicate a pike position. So this is going to the seat drop. Straight beginning, 1.5 twist in the straight position. Straight 1.5 twist, and hop, and she's already indicate the half twist. Show this from the front view. She's doing in the straight body position 1.5 twist, and shortly before landing, she uprights her upper body and arrive in the seat position. Exactly the same. Now we have the break in the methodology, the break in the progressions. We have to go the parallel way, gain more height, gain more acceleration in the salto rotation, landing on the feet, because we want to go more or less in the next weeks to duck under. So that's why we do a back full plus a third half twist and land on the feet. So this is a back straight salto with 1.5 twists. And the coaches all know that all these kind of landings in the forward position is not very easy, because in the last phase of the skill you don't have a very good view to the bed, and it's more or less depending on your feeling. So it's important in this stage of the progressions that the athlete concentrates on a back full. So she got the right salto tempo, the right height, concentrate on a back full, and add another half twist at the end. And normally, if athletes do this the first time, I'm on the frame on the trampoline to secure the landing, because you don't see very much before you land. Okay, we see the same thing from the front view. 1.5 twists. As we see this, she was traveling a little bit to the direction where she's twisting. She's a right twister. Okay, where is it? Where is it? Here again. So she's leaning over to her right arm a little bit, traveling a little bit to the side, and we have to be aware that we correct this and be very strict so she can stay in the axis. Okay, the next step is going to the front landing. So this is, we add another quarter salto. In the pike position, the 1.5 twist start with the straight body position. Then she's piking and going to the front landing. Okay, we show this again. This methodological step in the beginning with not so advanced athletes like Luisa, I'm as well on the trampoline to secure the landing so she does not over rotate. If you don't land in a very leveled way, it might be not very good for your spine. Okay, we see the same thing now from her twisting side. She's twisting to the right side once more. 1.5 twist, pike, and land on the stomach. Okay, now we see another girl, Selena. She's doing the same thing as Luisa before, but we see a different technique. Maybe you see it, what I mean. So this is a 1.5 twist to the front landing, show this again. And what you see is that she's piking. The piking is only a little bit indicated. And she's not completing the 1.5 twists as early as Louisa before. So this is more or less a cruising like you do normally in the full out tuck or straight. It's a little bit cruising between the two saltos. The advantage of this thing is that she is able to see the bed a little bit earlier and prepare her landing in a more or less safe way. And if she proceeds to the next thing, the acceleration of the salto is late, is very late, but she has a good view to the bed during the skill. So this is a difference between Selina and Louisa in the technique. The disadvantage, if you proceed to the next steps with this technique, is that the piking is maybe too late and the kick out is too late. So it's a little bit harder to finish the skill. And later you have to correct the things and accelerate the twist. I think both techniques are good to know and good to handle, but you have to know about the advantages and the disadvantages of these two techniques. My coach Yevgeny, he prefers this way of technique and accelerate the salto because he wants to make sure that the athlete is able to duck under and accelerate the salto. So this is a safe, little bit more safe learning. See this again. She's cruising a little bit between, and then she accelerates the salto a little bit later. Okay. I don't have this in the pike position, but in the puck position with Ryan, we show that the coach should be able to secure the duck under, because this is a little bit difficult thing to duck under, and the coach should maybe help in emergency case to do the last salto rotation to save the neck and the head of the athlete. We see this in the puck position. You see Yevgeny stepping into the trampoline and using both hands in emergency case to help with the rotation. If the athlete maybe loses eye contact and loses confidence and opens the skill, maybe the coach has to be there. We have this in slow motion as well, so you see this a little bit better. And now the coach would be here if the athlete is not able alone on his own to complete the rotation. Okay, so now we see this from Louisa in the puck position. She is using the same technique in puck and in pike position. And it's easier for her to do it in the puck position. She is used to this already before she is heading to the pike position. It's the same move, the same entrance for her. She needs enough height and speed. And then she is able, this was maybe the first attempt doing the thing in the pike position, but you see there was a very good control, very nice entrance into the skill. So she is able to duck under without any problems. She's got enough height, enough energy, 1.5 twists, pike and duck under. From this point, it's not so easy to go to the next step. I only have the next video not in pike position, but in puck position, because now the last half twist is the big thing to do. And you see that we use here a very thick mat to secure a good landing. So, and you see now, before Louisa is landing in this thick and safe mat, she already starts the fourth half twist into direction to her coach, to Yevgeny. And so you know, if you proceed here, you see that the fourth half twist is already beginning and she's landing on her body side. But in this mat, it's not a problem at all. It's a safe landing. And from here, from this point, it's very easy. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks practicing with this, she's definitely able to go on her hands and knees, maybe to a puck position and complete the skill. And the same in the pike position. Another example, what you can use as a methodology help, we have the pit here and we have some mats in here. This girl is doing the skill with an accelerated second salto. So she wants to make sure that definitely the salto rotation is enough to go second time head over and land on the feet again. So there's not a very far way to complete the skill in tuck position here or in puck position. It's not a very difficult thing. And now we see some other examples. We see a short combination from Eileen, tuck back, half out tuck, and Rudy in half out pike. A little bit lack of salto rotation. The kick out was not completed. The same combination from Leonie here, tuck back, half out with a very nice kick out. She got a little bit more energy, a little bit better kick out, but still I would say a little bit a lack of salto rotation. And back to my special guest, we see Dylan again, and we're talking about differences in male and female trampolining. If you see this, the main difference is not a technique, because I think we saw good technique with the athletes before as well, but the speed, the energy, the dynamic parts is incredible good. He finished the 1.5 twists very early. I want to go back again. I want to show again. Tuck back, Rudy in, tuck, half out pike. Very, very early in the kick out, so he has a long view to the bait and perfect possibility to link this element with everything. One possible continuation of this skill, the same entrance, but the Rudy out in the finish. Okay, it's not running. Tim is showing us half out pike now, and a Rudy in, Rudy out pike. So this could be a continuation of the skill. Not very easy, not very common, but with a high degree of difficulty. And maybe in the future, when we don't have any more a compulsory routine, maybe we see this in some routines. Once more. Half out pike, and then Rudy in, Rudy out. So, okay, and the very last video clip, it's not the best view, but this is the routine from Matthias in the last World Championships in the preliminary, and all these skills were included in his routine, starting with the full in Triffis pike. And we have all these skills in his routine. Little bit struggling here, but he came back to the middle, gaining height again. Half in Rudy pike, and now we have the Rudy in half out, full in half out, followed by the Miller. And that was his routine. So I'm very proud to stay in my limited time. and showed you all my videos, and I hope it was quite clear what I wanted to tell you. And I want to thank you for watching and staying with me. And Vladimir, I think now we can open the Q&A if there are some comments or some questions. You are very welcome. Okay. So I'm back here. We don't hear you, Vladimir. You have to open your microphone.
Okay, thank
Yes.
you very much, Mike. It was really great to have an opportunity to hear your presentation. And anyway, I would like to start question and answers now. We have two questions, I think, or more. I see 3 at the moment. Do you see it as well?
I see it as well.
Okay, can we start with the first one? How do you choose the direction of the twist for the beginner?
Okay, yes, it's always a very good question, and it's sometimes you have to change the direction of twisting after the first months. We try to do different things. If you let the athlete run into the corner of the gym, turn around, come back to me, you can see maybe his chocolate side where he wants to turn. On the trampoline, we try to do some straight jumps and let them do half twists and full twists in the left and the right direction. And then maybe you can see where it seems more natural for the young kid. At the latest thing, I think if you do seat drops with twisting, half twist to seat drop, from seat drop, half twist to another seat drop, you can see normally if a move with the twist seems natural and fluid, and maybe in the other direction it doesn't went that well. You cannot say if one is maybe right hand writing or left hand writing, then he twists to the other side. That's not a good idea. But just watch the children in their natural playing things on the trampoline, but as well on the floor, and then I'm pretty sure you can decide the right side of twisting.
Okay, thank you. The next question is forward or backward somersault. Not sure about the question. Maybe it's necessary to say that all the twist needs to be done in one direction.
Exactly. If you are a left twisting athlete, you have to do all your twisting on the same direction all the time. And if you do the full in half out pike, which is a forward skill, you start with the first half twist in the left direction. If you go backward in the Rudy in half out pike, you start as well on the left side twisting. So you keep, if you once you found your twisting direction, you keep it all the way.
Okay, next question is about the twists in early stages of an athlete's life. Could you maybe say more about it?
Yes, we have a lot of playing things for twisting, and you don't need to do too much corrections or technical input in the early years. Let the children play. As I told you, we use playing games like from seat drop with a half twist to seat drop, and do that as often as you can as a little competition between the children. And then they try to do different things onto mats, like a front drop with a half twist, so you have the back landing. Maybe you add another half twist, so you land on your front. The same thing backward. You do half twist to front drop, which is a backward entrance, and then you can add another half twist and you already have a full twist. So all these little things with only quarter salto or without salto rotation, you can initiate, and with little competitions, the twisting of the athletes in a playing manner. And once you implement these things, then you start to help them a little bit with the right techniques, stay in the axis, you give some manual help, but let children play in the beginning with different kind of twisting.
Okay, thank you. The next question is about the availability of the videos for personal use or study. The question is if it is possible to provide the people with the video. As I said on the beginning, or wrote on the beginning, we are recording this webinar, and the video will be published on the European Gymnastics website and on the European Gymnastics YouTube channel. Next question is which element or skill should be learned first? Full in half out or ready out?
There's no good answer on this question. As I told you, before you complete these skills, and we saw some very advanced athletes in the videos, but we have really beginners in the age of 6, 7, 8 years who start trampoline. They already can prepare backward and front and forward salto rotation, quarter salto, and start twisting. And if you proceed in the learning years, in the first years of your training process, at some stage you arrive with the Barani straight as a forward skill and the backfall as the backward skill. These are, in my eyes, the most important skills in the learning process. And from this on, you can develop everything. And it depends on the athlete. Some of them prefer more or less to go backward first, and other athletes prefer to go forward. There's no answer for this question.
Okay, next question is related also to judging, let's say. The question is, as the judges are looking on tight pike shapes in the element because of execution, deduction, etc., it is very important to get the twisting, full twisting or half twisting or 1.5 twisting completed before three quarters of the first somersault. Does it mean that the gymnast will lose the sight to the bed in the beginning of the skill?
Yes. With this technique, you lose eye contact to the bed. As we showed, should I maybe go back to my presentation? I show you one thing. Just wait a second. I show you. Okay. Now we saw this here with Dylan. Okay. Where is it? No, that was not the right thing. Okay, but I try to explain. With these two skills in the technique, which was showed up in this seminar, you lose eye contact between the second and the third half twist because you have to accelerate the twist, and then your head is in the direction to the roof, so you cannot see the bed. But it's very important to have the eye contact in the first phase, in the takeoff phase, and as soon as you start your kick out, you have to get back the eye contact. It's very important. In a full in, full out tuck, like in my times, the full in, full out tuck in puck position was very common. You can have eye contact throughout the whole skill, but not with this technique.
Okay, thank you. The next question is, can you give a comment about the differences between tuck and pike in full in half out and in Rodian half out?
Yes, the difference is quite clear. The dividing of the twist is different. In the puck or tuck position, it is about 3/4 of twist only in the first salto. So you arrive more or less sideways, and you have already the eye contact again to the bed, and then you go over in the second salto with the rest of the twisting. And in the full in half out pike or in the Rudy in half out pike, you complete the 1.5 twist or the 1 twist before you finish the first salto rotation. The advantage is you can have a better body position, more clear body position, and you have an earlier kick out, earlier complete kick out with a long last phase of the skill with eye contact to the bed. And I'm very, very sad that our rules of giving execution marks are not honoring the puck position anymore. They deduct very much if you don't have a clear position and not the arms touching your knees, for example, because these are very, very nice skills in the puck position, but they almost disappeared. I'm sad about this.
Okay, thank you. Do you think that double in half out or Randy in half out will be performed more frequently in the future?
I don't think so. I got some athletes throughout my coaches' years who could perform these skills, and it's very, very interesting and quite nice skills if you can perform. But I told you in the seminar that there's a big disadvantage. The more twisting you have in the first salto, the more you cut your height in the takeoff, and the danger of traveling sideways, go out of the axis, there is a danger of traveling sideways, and it's not very good for linking these skills.
Okay, thank you. The next question is from Team Gym. Because in Team Gym they do most of the skills in the tuck or straight position. Mm-hmm. And the question is if you could explain the reason why.
I don't know.
Trampolining is doing so many of our skills piked.
Oh yes, in pike position, you have a very good body control, better body tension than in the tucked position. So the positions and the kickouts are better and clearer than in the tuck position. So the deductions of the judges are less than in the tuck position. This is the one reason. The other reason is if you look at takeoff sequences in the tucked moves, the people often they bend their knees a little bit too early before the takeoff is completed. So they cut their height as well. In pike takeoffs or straight takeoffs, your whole body goes into an extended position and you gain more height and more energy.
Okay, thank you. The next question is if you see the gymnast turn his hand to the opposite side of the twist, is it the side maybe you have to change the direction?
Can be possible, but it can be caused by fear. Maybe there could be a lot of different reasons for this. Maybe he's only used to this move, but if somebody don't want to twist to this side and goes with the parts of the body in the other direction, there are maybe different reasons. But why not? If it's an early stage of training years, maybe try to change the direction. But this is very, very difficult. Good coach in Germany, Ute Laxen, I worked with her for many, many years. She had 3 or 4 athletes. They already arrived in the level half outs and half in half outs. And she started to change the direction of twisting. I can promise this is a long and a hard way to change this.
Okay, thank you. At the moment, the last question. In the initial slides, you spoke about playing of the gymnast. Can you give some examples of your playing activities? Mm-hmm. what about playing about elite gymnast?
The more elite the gymnasts are, the less they are playing, because training is more or less focused on the routines and the skills in a perfect manner. But in my career, we try to do something like a game. I show a skill, and the next athlete shows the same skill and add another one. So we have some unusual combination and linking of skills. This was our kind of playing in advanced levels. But the young people, the children, they play with everything in a low height, with not much salto rotation. As I told you before, small competitions. Who can perform the most half twist to seat drop, half twist to seat drop? Who can add another half twist in the front drop, or another half twist in the back drop? These are the playing things. If you use a safety mat, they can do everything what they want, but not jump on their head.
Okay, thank you. The next question is, which technique do you use for full in, full out straight?
We have some different possibilities. There's a lot of energy needed to do the full in, full out straight. The double back straight is one of the most important requirements you have, and maybe you add first only one twist and not two twists. So you do maybe a back in, full out straight. What we use for these skills indeed is the bungee belt. This is very useful to do to perform these skills in the bungee belt, which helps you with, maybe in the beginning there's a lack of salto rotation and energy and height, and you can assist this and support this with a bungee belt. And then it's the same. The technique from the dividing of the twisting is the same as in the puck position. You have a back full, but before you land on your feet, you add another quarter twist, so you land sideways. And this is the time of the cruising to the second salto with the last three-quarter twist.
Okay. Thank you, Mitch.
Okay.
Now I need to switch to my screen. Okay. So that was a part of the webinar, questions and answers. I would like to thank Mitch once more for a great presentation and the answers he provided to you. And at the same moment, I would like to invite you for the next set of the webinars of the European Gymnastics in early 2021. We have prepared for January and February 3 webinars. The first one is more about medical or physio understanding of our sport, reducing injury risk for trampoline, tumbling, and double mini. The second one is about high performance training during adolescence by Hardy Fink. And the last one, today we had a dedicated webinar for trampoline. Next time we will have a dedicated webinar to double mini, importance of the hurdle jump in double mini, and tips for learning and improving by Luis Nunez. Okay, thank you very much. I would like to wish you all Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, because this is the last webinar of this year. And I'm looking forward to see you all healthy and in good mood in 2021. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Vladimir. Stay safe, stay healthy. Bye-bye, everybody.